Good day everyone, I'm Quesser, and today is a good day to play some video games. Today we're gonna continue our adventure with Call of Cthulhu. So let's dive in. So, we investigate the Hawking Mansion, we were in the asylum, and now we escaped the asylum. And of course we saw Shambler killing someone in the asylum. Did we saw that?
Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink.
Maybe you don't need a drink if you have nightmares. So, what do we need to do now? So, Officer Bradley is alive, or he's a fake one? Why always defaulting to the lamp? No, I don't want to talk to them.
No. I want to know what Bradley and Dr. Colden have to say about all this.
Or I want to talk to them. Take the magnifying glass. It will be useful. I will be like Sherlock Holmes. Take it. Not seeing you. I don't see you, you don't see me.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
3 days.
It's fine.
No. I want to know what Bradley and Dr. Colden have to say about all this.
Resist. Resist. One alcohol bottle here, the other here. They really giving you a push towards the problem of alcoholism. Maybe coffee. No coffee for me? Are you a fake, Bradley? Tell the truth.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
Bradley died. Okay, I don't have the skill to do that. can't talk about this because...
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
Seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
Bradley, what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion. You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
The rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then?
I went to visit you at the hospital and called on Marie's help to get you released.
And you don't remember the events of the tunnel?
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
Liar.
I heard you talking earlier.
Why am I not surprised?
I get the impression you two don't get along.
Intrusive and not very clever. Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
I found a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the Institute's basement.
It makes sense. A powerful family like the Hawkins had the means to hide such a disgrace.
But everyone knows the Fullers have been taking care of the Hawkins for at least a generation. And all were aware of Mrs. Hawkins' fragility.
Perhaps, but no one would allow a psychiatric internment.
From what I read in the file, Fuller used her as a subject of his experiments.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins, subjects of Dr. Fuller. Why those two?
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him. Do you wish to know anything else?
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes. I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan. And I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
What? This is all that I have to say.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
Shambler came and killed him.
I didn't see what, but something was there, with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
Maybe it was just in my imagination. I was under the influence of strong drugs. Well, better confront the truth.
He's right. We can't ignore the truth.
But it could drive her mad.
Better madness than ignorance. Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
This time I will end up in cemetery.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Because you died. Let's go to the tunnels now. Why are we not gonna go to the tunnels now? And I can show you that there are tunnels there. Let's go there now. Come on. What's the problem? No, resist. 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 Pierce. Leave? No, let's go to the tunnels. I will show you, Bradley, where you died. Come on. Pierce, Caldwell, and Bradley, fake Bradley, decided to team up to solve the Sarah Hawkins case. They have a new trail to follow: Francis Sanders, an art collector and friend of the painter, who died right in front of Pierce. The detective goes to his house in order to speak to his widow about the Shambler that the unfortunate man mentioned before he died. Let's see how that will go.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
No.
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me.
Something tells me that Kitty Cat is involved as well.
Inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband.
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
I could visit my skill tree before this talk. Let's tell the truth.
He started raving, screaming that a dimensional Shambler had found him.
Oh, mercy, that story again. Why have him interned?
That was when he began to convulse and twist with pain. Or terror, it's hard to tell.
I beg your pardon?
I'm not really sure of what I saw, or what I didn't see. But it's best that you weren't there.
I should have been there. What you're telling me is outrageous. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
Fuller's fault.
So ask Fuller, he's the eminent doctor. But I would caution you, you'll find his treatments more terrifying than the illnesses he sets out to cure.
That churl no longer takes the trouble to receive me. He sends his secretary to tell me that I cannot see Francis. Me. His own widow. He must think that I am a terrible wife for having abandoned him in such a way. But I only wanted what was best for him.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Can I ask only one, or I will be need to ask everything?
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A Shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long. The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
That's the Shambler? A photograph of a Sarah Hawkins next to the Sanders. They must be close. The whiteness.
A house of artists. A house of artists. Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even?
Maybe more.
A house of artists. Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler, "Finally." What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins? She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel? The Shambler. I need to see it.
The Shambler will hunt me now.
Did she really care for him after all?
Dear Madame, I acknowledge receipt of the letter in which you demand the body of your deceased husband. I am sorry to inform that I cannot agree to return his body to you, because it's torn apart by the Shambler, and I have no way or reasonable way of explanation to that. At the moment of his interment, you sign a discharge allowing me to dispose of his body as I see fit. I extend my deepest condolence to you, Thomas Fuller. Full of shit. The second volume in this series covers everything from gas gangrene to trench nephritis. In addition to the precise and detailed study, the book presents some avant-garde theories. The incredible complexity of this book reserves it for medical experts. I made some progress. Of course, medicine, occultism, I can't increase. Okay. We increased our skills. Where is the Shambler? Where is Cat?
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
An audio recording that Francis Sanders left for his wife, Irene. Locked. Locked. What's the time? 9. Locked. Hi.
I could use one of those.
Take it.
A strange Amerindian pendant.
An ancient amulet, probably Amerindian. I wonder what its purpose could be. Probably protection from Shambler.
Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
This volume spends some time on Reverend Wickwood community. His wife expressed her worries about the strange dreams that the Reverend congregation are having since their arrival on the island. Some members of the community, her husband included, begin to speak of their vision as a messenger sent by the god. He is scared that they will suffer the same fate as the lost tribe.
Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Dear Francis, I beg you to give up all hope of ever owning this accursed painting. If our friendship has any meaning for you, please spare me the weight of guilt. I cannot be the architect of your fall. I beg you, my dear friend, forget the Shambler, your friend Sarah Hawkins. He loves Shambler more than Sarah. What we have here? A Whale and the Code. The Whale and the Code, or A Brief History of Darkwater by Erwin Greenmouth. It is focused on the past glory of the island. I was hoping all about the occultism or the medicine book. Cut. Let's force our way in. Key. Key to the Sanders Gallery. And if I would not have key, I wouldn't be able to open the Sanders Gallery. What we have here? This is dissertation on an anatomical question. It is the work of a student in book form. Although the observations are relevant, they lack the expertise of an experienced physician. However, the question asked allows us to imagine new ways of exploring human anatomy. What What is this book? Occultic book. It is kind of encyclopedia of monsters and unknown creatures. I'm beginning to believe that they exist.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
I just came to talk. What's your problem?
I'm not here to cause trouble, if that's what's worrying you.
Worry me? Don't overestimate yourself. If the last beating wasn't enough for you, I can always give it another go. But as long as you keep out of my way, you're free to carry on with your visit.
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say? Not now, sweetheart. I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder.
Suddenly, you want to read the book? I could just lockpick this. Game saved. Ooh, we have to run from something. Let me guess, we will have to run from Shambler. What? That's all? Hmm?
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Take it.
These artifacts
Take it.
date from
Take it.
pre-Columbian times. The public entrance to the gallery. Why was he so interested in old weapons?
Because only those old weapons can kill Shambler.
The man transforms an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery. Something gonna happen?
Nothing.
Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it?
For some possessing the talents of Sarah Hawkins, Sanders drew a dagger with a tortured from down to the smallest detail. The card carries a strange esoteric symbol, a recurring feature of his correspondence with Sarah. Okay, first we need a weapon before we're gonna take a look at the Shambler. Not.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Yeah, this one. This one.
Why was he so interested in old weapons? Why was he so interested in old weapons?
Need to run here, take the dagger and hide inside the closet. Okie dokie. We're ready to face the Shambler, I think. Yo, bro. Wake up. So skinny. In Quake 1 he was much beefier. Not here. It's all my imagination.
What the hell was that?
Shambler! Didn't you pay attention? I'm losing sanity. Jesus, I'm gonna get heart attack. Where is the weapon?
Damn. This dagger looks different.
Come on! No! What? I was supposed to kill you.
What the hell was that?
And of course I am on the wrong side of the room. Okay, running is also a bad idea.
What the hell was that?
Go away or I'm gonna get heart attack. Maybe I need to cut the painting.
Down. This dagger looks different.
Run for it.
What's the matter with you? You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
Yes, a big monster.
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
And you give me this information free of charge, or maybe better not to ask.
It's not your style to give me free information like that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I still got things to settle with Irene.
The nameless bookstore, the Shambler, turned out to be much more than an artwork painted by the Sarah Hawkins, as a huge creature came out of the painting to attack Pierce. After a hard fight, the detective managed to send it back into the painting. He later discovered that the dagger he used to repel the creature had been sold to Sanders by a man named Algernon Drake, owner of the nameless bookstore. Pierce decided to pay the librarian a visit. We're too late. Something tells me we're gonna enter, and then there will be police, and oh, you killed the librarian.
Where's the bookseller?
But that's the story for the next episode. Thanks everyone for watching. See you next time.